Hi, Latanya.
Hi.
Welcome. Looks like Julio's connecting. Hi, Julio. Welcome.
Hello.
My name is Tiffany. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, great. Well, this is a telehealth therapy session, so I just want to make sure that our internet connection's okay, that we could all see each other and hear each other clearly. Um, and I wanted to make sure that you're both in a safe space where you can talk freely. It looks like you're not next to each other. Are you both separate?
Yes.
Yes, currently I'm in my grandmother's house.
Okay. And Latanya, are you in a place where you feel comfortable to talk?
Yes, I'm at a friend's house.
Okay, okay, great. Well, as I said, my name is Tiffany, and I'm a student therapist at Mercy College Counseling Center. Before we begin, I need to let you know about the agency's policies surrounding confidentiality. Um, is that okay that we just discuss that for a minute or two?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you. So before we begin, I need to let you know about the agency's policy surrounding confidentiality. My hopes for our work together is that we can build a trusting relationship and we could develop a safe space where you both feel comfortable sharing personal information. And as such, my intentions are to keep what you both share in this space confidential. There are a few, however, times where I will be required to share information, and I do want to provide those circumstances now. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
Okay,
good.
okay. So if you shared information that led me to believe a child was at risk of harm, I would be required to share those details with the appropriate authorities. If I believe that you are at imminent risk of harm or are in danger of hurting yourself, I will be required to share that information with the appropriate authorities. If I believe a vulnerable adult were at a serious risk of harm and were not able to seek support for themselves, I would have to report that to the appropriate authorities. If a court, if there's a court order that subpoenas my notes, I would have to provide that to the court. Um, and I also receive supervision for these therapy sessions, and I will have to discuss just kind of like big points about our sessions. And I will try my best to keep as much of what you share confidential. I'll just be discussing like certain points and also sharing progress notes. Do you have any questions about what I've shared with you today?
No.
No, not at all.
Okay, great. Um, I also wanted to share with you about my fees. So regarding my fees, it's $100 per session. I would ask if you're unable to keep an appointment to please cancel before 24 hours, because if you do it after 24 hours, I do charge a $35 cancellation fee. So it's best to just let me know 24 hours in advance. Do you have any questions about my fees?
No.
Okay, if at any time you feel like you're experiencing any kind of financial hardship, I do provide a sliding scale fee. And if that's something you're interested in, we could discuss it at the end of the session and I will email you the information for you to fill out.
Okay.
Okay. If at any time you want me to revisit anything that I've covered, please let me know and I would be happy to do so. Okay, so I would just like to invite you to let me know what brought you into the session today.
So we're coming in here because me and my sister Latanya, we're struggling to make ends meet in our apartment and we're gonna get evicted soon. And we don't know what to do because I'm out of a job and she's trying to make ends meet working at her job. That's why we're here.
I see. So it's a little bit of a financial struggle and you're both
Yeah, it's a big
facing,
struggle.
yeah.
I don't know what to do.
And Latanya, how do you feel? What's going on?
Well, I just feel like, I'm always trying to make ends meet, and my brother is he just, he gets a job, he gets fired, he gets a job, he doesn't really care about responsibility. So it's always falls on me. And now I'm just like, I'm not gonna take the responsibility for both of us. I want him to actually be a man and, take some responsibility, show that he's maturing and growing up.
Well, it's
I,
not that I don't want to take responsibility. It's that I'm trying to find a job I'm comfortable with, and then it just never works out for some reason.
He's always
um,
trying to find himself. He's always trying to find himself. Like, when is he gonna stop trying to find himself?
I see. May I ask the age difference between you two?
I'm 25 and my sister's 30.
Okay. And how did this come about when you both decided that you wanted to roommate with each other? Are there other roommates in the apartment?
Now it's just
No.
us two.
Okay.
We, we moved in recently from our parents' household, and we wanted to just be independent because if we felt like it was, we're old enough and we wanted to be more independent, basically.
And Julio, is this your first time being independent of your parents and living on your own?
Yes.
Um, and how about you, Latanya?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more if you can about the decision making when you both decided that roommating would be a good decision. And
Well, uh,
oh no, go ahead.
well, we decided to, just move in with each other. Like he said, we wanted to be independent, but we are brother and sister. So it's like, we're moving in with someone. I'm moving in with him, doing it with me. We know each other. We're related. It's not like we're moving in with someone that, you know, like a friend or someone that we didn't know. So it was more of us being like, you know, we we just grew we're brother and sister, so it would be easier for us. And we've lived together for all our lives, so I didn't expect it to be this difficult moving in together, being on our own.
I see. And Julio, what was that process like for you making this decision?
I guess at first it was a new experience because initially we were so dependent on our parents, making decisions for us, and we wanted to find a different route basically and trying to maintain ourselves financially and grow as individuals together.
I see. So, is it okay for me to say that maybe you both had a strong enough relationship before moving out that you felt comfortable going into this next phase of life together?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would I would say so.
Yeah, with someone familiar. It's not like we doing it with someone that we didn't know.
And I would just like to ask if your parents were here in the session, either both, it could be both your parents or either or, what do you think they would say about you both making this decision to move out?
I guess they would react in a way that it's very, I guess, how do I word it? Not so strict, but in a way where like, I told you so, you should have listened to me type of mannerisms.
So when you say listen, you should have listened to me, does that mean that they did not want you to move out?
Not that they didn't want us to, but more so listen to their advice more than what we didn't listen to. Because we moved out, but we moved out, I guess, in an overconfident manner.
What does that mean for you, overconfident?
I guess what it means to me is like don't worry, we got this. You don't have to worry about us mentality.
Okay, so you were just confident about moving into your next phase in life.
Pretty much, yes.
And how do you feel about that, Latanya? What do you think your parents would say if they were here?
I would think they would say that my brother moved prematurely because he has not gained um independence yet. And I've always been independent and I've always taken care of my brother. So, I mean, I guess they would say I told you so in the sense that they knew that it would all fall on me and I would have to always, pick him up and make sure he's okay and, pick up the slack. So I think that'll be their I told you so for me.
I see.
Yeah.
And when you say pick up the slack, can you elaborate more on what that means for you and if that's something that's happened in the past?
Well, as the oldest sibling, I always took care of my brother. If he didn't have something, I would try to get it for him. If I was working and he wanted something, I would always get it for him. He was always like with me. We were like two peas in a pod. So I always took that role seriously. Like that was my role as an older sibling. So taking care of my brother is what I did.
Right.
But now that I'm an adult, it's too much on me.
I think that's beautiful that you took on, that position as an older sister. And, Julio, how did that make you feel growing up having a sister who um, really looked out for you? Was that your experience growing up? Is that how you perceived it?
Yes. Me and my sister were very close growing up, and she stuck out for me many occasions. And I guess now as an adult, I really appreciate it, but I guess I reached a point where I want to show that she doesn't have to push protect me all the time. I can protect myself, but not in a neglectful way, but to show that I can be independent and I can put my help into the family, so to speak.
So, Julio, would you say that right now independence for you is a priority? It's something that you really want to focus on?
Yes, which is why I've been struggling getting a job position where I can be settled and make the income so that my sister doesn't have to work as hard as she is now.
And Latanya, what's coming up for you when you hear him say that?
He always, this is his excuse for every single time we get into some kind of bad predicament. I'm going to try, I'm trying, I want to do it. It's just a song that I've heard already. I've gone down this road with my brother already. At this point, I just feel like I don't even think I want to move back in with him because I don't trust him.
I'm just
Okay.
trying to make the most of it, you know, trying to find that perfect job for me.
Trying to find the
It's
perfect
it's just
job.
like when is he gonna find the perfect job? He's had so many different jobs, just like job after job after job after job. Why can't he just, stick it out even if he doesn't like it, just so we can try to make ends meet together?
Julio, how do you feel about hearing your sister express that?
Uh, it makes me frustrated, but at the same time, I understand where she's coming from because I'm trying to find a job that has enough income so we don't have to work twice as hard for that rent so we can put the rent in. And I guess she's frustrated because I'm not sticking to that one job. So yeah, it makes me feel frustrated.
And when you say frustrated, where is your frustration being pointed towards? Is it towards yourself, towards the job, towards the situation, or
It's a little bit towards myself because I'm not sticking to that one spot. I feel like I'm moving too fast, but I don't know how to stay there at the same time.
and when you're in a job and you start feeling like you want to move on, what are the thoughts that go through your mind? And do you have any bodily reactions while you're at work that cause you to want to move on to another job?
Not necessarily outward expressions, but internally I feel like there are questions in my mind that come, oh, this job, you know, this job is not paying me enough. Where else can I go? Those questions like that.
My job doesn't pay enough, and I'm trying. I feel like, you can stick with something while trying to get somewhere else. He doesn't have to quit his job to look for another job. He can
Julio,
stay where he's at and then look for something else instead of having zero income and then trying to look for something. Stay where you at. And then you can go look for something else. And then if you get that, whatever you like, then you leave your current position and then you go to where you like.
have you considered that, Julio, staying at a job while you look for the next job?
I haven't tried it yet, but maybe in the future I can, but I just
You
need
see, and
to.
then he's like, in the future he can. Like I'm not giving him a good option in the future. Yeah, I'll think about it. We are getting evicted, Julio.
That's why I gotta find the job so we don't get evicted.
And how soon is the eviction going to be taking place?
In 2 months, that's what the notice said.
So, have you both thought of where you'll go if the eviction does go through?
The only place I thought of was my grandma's house.
I'm going to be at my friend's house where I'm at right now. You know, if he doesn't get it together, I'm going to look for something else by myself because he's saying that he's going to try, but I don't know. I just can't trust my brother.
If Julio does find a job that pays him on time for him to make rent, would you want to enter into another 1 year lease with him?
I don't know because it's just like, what if he works at that job for a couple of months and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, I don't like it here. I'm going to quit and then I'm going to find something else. He has this pattern of doing that.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I can trust him to even take the advice that I just gave him, which is, stick it out until you can find something and then you move on. He just thinks that he's a teenager. Like he could just be like, I'm gonna quit and then my sister will pay for it. And then, whenever I find something, I'll find something. And it doesn't work like that. We're on our own. We're not with our parents anymore. It's more responsibility. It's more on my shoulders. So it's hard to even like take that chance again.
And do you receive that information, Julio? Do you think how do you think, how do you feel about that?
Again, that makes me feel incompetent because I'm not able to stick on one job, but I just need to find that job that gives the perfect amount of income for the apartment.
Well, we don't need a perfect amount. We're doing this together.
I know, but I want to put the effort in so you can work less.
So you want to see your sister work less?
Yes. Because I feel like she works way more harder than I did when I'm in the job.
And could you tell me how do you feel about your sister? What are your thoughts and feelings about her?
I see her as a big role model. She works hard and she was always protecting me when we were younger. And she's always the stickler for rules and always upheld them when we lived with our parents. And I want to be like her in that aspect.
So this must cause you a little discomfort or maybe even some pain seeing your sister feeling frustrated.
Yes, it does.
Um, Latanya, when Julio's at a job, are there any patterns that you see, behavioral patterns that come up for him maybe a week or two before he decides to quit a job, like maybe oversleeping, overeating, or any kind of patterns like that
Well,
that
he
you've ever
starts
noticed?
to complain. He starts to complain about how he doesn't like it and he wants to find another job. and then he'll get lazy, and yeah, he oversleeps and he's late. So he becomes then this late pattern after he gets lazy and uninterested in the job. Gets goes in late and doesn't care anymore. And then he either gets fired or he quits.
So what I'm hearing is there's a little bit of Julio wanting to find another job, but there's also a responsibility aspect to it where he's maybe not able to meet the responsibilities of the job, like getting to work on time. Do you have any issues with calling out of work? Is that something that happens sometimes?
Um, I usually almost never call out, usually because I don't want to, I have a fear of, I guess, facing the repercussions. And I just go in regardless if I'm late or not.
Okay. And when you're late, about how late are we talking? Just so I can have an idea.
It usually happens 15 to 30 minutes late
Okay.
when the shift starts. And then sometimes I clock out early if the job is starting to reach a point where it's not fulfilling what I need to do.
And what field are you in? What kind of jobs have you had?
I had a multiple amount of jobs. I did construction, musical artist, and receptionist, to name a couple.
And what would be your dream job if you could name it right now?
I guess my dream job would be to be in a musical band or
A
teach
musical
a
band.
teach a music class.
Oh, okay. Do you play instruments?
Yes, I play the drums.
Oh, okay. Are you playing the drums in the apartment that you share with Latanya?
I have to go outside to play in a garage because it would be too loud in the apartment complex.
Okay. Latanya, do you have any extracurricular activities that you participate in?
No, I just mostly I'm a homebody, so I stay at home. I read, I watch TV.
And do you
So
have a dream job?
do I have a dream job? I haven't thought about a dream job yet. I mean, maybe I should. I'm 30, right? So I should think about a dream job. But right now, my job is, getting me by. So I haven't thought about something yet. I guess because, I'm content with where I'm at. So it's just, I'm not looking for something else. So,
I'm wondering now when I hear you both discussing, um, you know, Latanya, I don't really hear you saying that you have many dreams, and not to say that you don't have aspirations, but you're not necessarily dreaming about things. You're content with where you are, and you seem to be very realistic about your situations.
mhm.
Whereas Julio is not content with any of his jobs, and he's dreaming of being in a band, and he's actively working on that. Um, and I just can't help but wonder if you taking on responsibilities all of your life and playing the role of the older sister, if that's held you back from being able to be creative and for yourself and find a little bit of enjoyment for yourself.
um, hmm, I never thought of it like that. I never did. So maybe you're right. I just really focused on taking care of my brother all my life. Not that our parents never took care of us, but just I wanted to, when Julio was born, it was like I was so excited and I was happy. I had a little brother, I had someone to talk to, I had someone, we played all the time. So he was like my person. So yeah. I guess, yeah, I really didn't. All I could focus on was like being the big sister to my brother, the best big sister that I could be.
I think you have been a wonderful big sister. And I hear a lot of love between the both of you. And although you are in the situation that you're in, and I feel for the both of you, it's a very difficult situation to be in. I do feel like the love you have for each other is, I can just feel it. I can see it. I can feel it. It's tangible. And I just wanted to let you both know that I recognize that. Um, Moving forward, what kind of work would you like to do here in these therapy sessions? Like, what would you like to focus on?
I would like to focus on Julio, maybe pursuing his dream. I think he speaks so fondly of his dream, and maybe that'll help him keep a job and keep steady income if he goes straight into something that he likes. He can start small.
So you're supportive of that dream?
Yeah, if it's something that's gonna keep him employed, yes.
Yeah, I understand.
But if he has another dream, I don't know if I'm going to support it. Like, I get that he might have another dream, but I just want this dream to flourish and get him a job so we can make ends meet together.
Yes. I think we might have lost Julio. Julio, can you hear us?
Yes, my
Oh,
my video is cutting out, but I can still hear you guys. Let
okay.
Okay.
me let me try to rejoin really quick.
Latanya, whose idea was it to come to therapy?
It was my idea
Yeah.
because I just wanted to get to the bottom of why he keeps quitting his jobs and not caring about income. Our
What's
parents were hardworking. They showed us how to work hard and how to, you know, be responsible. So I didn't understand why my brother wasn't the same way.
hmm. And this has been a pattern, you would say, most of his life?
Yes.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't know why my video feed is messing up, but I'll still talk if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, sure. As long as you still are in a safe space where you feel like you can freely speak.
Okay.
Um, and if not, you feel more comfortable typing in the chat. If something has happened, please let us know. Otherwise, um, did you get to hear a little bit of what Latanya was saying about her support of you going after your dreams?
Yes, we had this talk a couple of times before. When it comes to my dream job, playing the drums, part of why I don't really pursue is because of our parents. Our parents didn't really vibe with it. They didn't see it as a successful position as a job.
Okay. And you said that you're actively practicing with the band now?
Yes, I have a group of friends that I know, and we get together and practice from time to time in the weekends.
Okay. That sounds like a lot of fun. Have you ever looked into kind of shopping around at different bars or different locations if they're looking for a drummer who performs on weekends so that way you can get paid as a drummer for maybe weekend shifts?
There are a couple of positions. There was a church that we used to go to that they're offering a drum position for the songs for like songs to sing. And I've been thinking of joining that spot to see if
I think that would be wonderful, and that would be something that's worth pursuing. Are you interested in pursuing that? Is that something that's interesting to you?
Yes, that would be nice. I'm going to check to see if it's available still.
Okay, great. Our session is coming to a close in about 10 minutes, so I just want to make sure that we kind of um, touch base on anything that's really important that either one of you would like to get out in this session today.
I just want is he just expressed that he has an interest in a band or performing. Once it brings income, I'm good with it. I'll go and I'll support him, but it needs to bring in some income. Is it gonna bring in income?
I saw that the church position had it for 15 an hour, so it's a start.
Yeah.
Would you both like to schedule a session for or next week or in 2 weeks, whatever's most comfortable for you? Is that something you would like to do?
Yes, I would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same here.
Okay. We could definitely set up a schedule, a time for next week. And I would like to suggest an activity for the both of you. And this is not something you have to do with each other, it's just something to do on your own. And if it's not something you're comfortable with, that's totally okay. You can just let me know. Do either one of you journal?
Yes, I do.
You do? Wonderful. Julio, do you journal?
I write notes of my music, but I definitely do write from time to time when I'm bored.
Okay. Well, my suggestion to you both is to take this week and think about two different scenarios. One scenario where you're both not living with each other and you move forward into this next phase of life as adults, as full-fledged adults, living separately. And it doesn't mean that your relationship will be separate or you will no longer have a relationship, just your living circumstances will be separate. And I want you to write down, what does that make you feel when you think about that? Does that cause anxiety, like butterflies in the stomach, nervousness? Is it something that is exciting or like a new adventure? Whatever you're feeling, I want you to write it down and try to think about it at least 3 times this week on different days. And your emotions might change from day to day. So I want you to kind of like write it down so you can remember it. And then we can touch base on that scenario, what it would be like not living together. The next scenario would be the eviction does not go through and you do decide to do another 1 year lease. What is that going to look like for the both of you? What specific changes would you like to see happen? I think you both uh, very nicely put out what you want to see happening. But I'd like to see it in writing if possible. Now, if you don't feel comfortable journaling, if you forget to journal because you're busy throughout the week, that's okay. Do not let that discourage you from coming next week. You can just kind of share off the top of your head. But it's just a way to keep track of what you're feeling day by day. Check in maybe 3 times in the week and see if those emotions are staying consistent, what emotions are coming up for you, or maybe you're having an up and down of emotions about living together and living separately. And I think that'll really help us to narrow down, Latanya, what your experience is, and Julio, what you're experiencing through this process. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to meet with each one of you individually for about 10 minutes.
That's fine.
Okay. And this is all due by the next time we meet?
Yes, but I don't want you to think of it like an assignment that's due. Like I
Oh,
said, if you forget or if you don't do it, that's okay. Don't let that keep you from coming next week. We'll
okay.
just think about it during the session and we'll discuss it.
All right.
And that's if it's okay with you. Do you think that's a good suggestion?
Yeah, that's fine. I love it.
Okay. And Latanya, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think I can do it.
Yeah. Okay, like I said, no pressure. I don't want you to feel like this is homework. It's not homework, it's a suggestion. It's just to track how you both are feeling throughout the week.
Okay.
And we'll discuss it privately during our one-to-one session. And then if you can then just let me know what you're willing to share with each other. And also, there may be times where you confide in me something that you don't want your sibling to know, and that's okay too. So if we're having a one-to-one session, you just let me know, hey, I don't want you to share this with Julio. I don't want you to share this with Latanya. Like I said, this is a safe space for both of you to really share your feelings.
Okay.
And it's
We
not
haven't.
always,
Oh, sorry.
no, I'm sorry, Julio, go ahead.
I was going to ask a question. How how long does it have to be, the writing?
It could be one sentence, just for scenario where you're living together, you can write, that scares me, or I feel warmth and comfortable. It could be a paragraph if you're really thinking more about it. It's really up to you and whatever you're processing and whatever you want to write.
Okay.
Like I said, it's not a big assignment, it's not homework. It's just so you can keep track of your emotions and your feelings.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I would like to say thank you so much for joining today, and thank you, Latanya, for setting up this meeting.
Thank you for, giving us your time.
No problem. This is my pleasure. And is there anything else that do you have any questions for me?
No.
No, no questions.
No? Okay. Would you like to look further into the sliding scale, since now I know you're facing an eviction, you do have some financial hardships?
Yeah. Because more than likely I'll be paying for the sessions.
Okay. So once this session ends, I will email you the paperwork and you just fill it out. And we should have that up and running by next week. So these sessions are not such a burden to you
Okay.
financially.
Okay.
Okay, is there anything that you'd like to say to each other before we close out?
Get a job, Julio.
Don't worry. We'll definitely solve this together. No, but it was wonderful coming here. Thank you.
Great, great. Um, so it was very nice to meet you both, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And I will see you next week.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. See you
Bye.
next week.
Bye.